My name is Lloyd and I work at Dene Academy, and my job title is Head of Key Stage 4. Yeah, so we refer young people to Endeavour from year 10, year 11, often students who are at risk of dropping out of school altogether through attendance, or are just struggling to access a mainstream provision like ours. I think it's so important that the students of East Durham get the chance to access a provision like this. We have a considerable number of students who could access. If we had more Endeavours, it would be absolutely brilliant for not only for the schools but for the young people. We rely quite heavily, actually. We send 2 to 3 students, or we use the provision for 2 to 3 students every year, and we're seeing some fantastic results and achievements and success stories by using Endeavour Academy. So absolutely, particularly post-COVID, we've seen nationally a bigger drop-off in attendance, around a 5–6% I believe drop-off, and there's lots of students that having spent a considerable amount of time at home with parents, finding it hard to get back into accessing mainstream education. So it really has been using Endeavour Academy to find a pathway for these students, not only into year 10 and 11 but and beyond, into year 12, into 13. The familiarity that the fact that Endeavour's based within the college, it gives them a pathway through to access further education and onto year 12 and onto year 13. I can talk around like the various different students that have accessed Endeavour, and the support through the family liaison officers. Often these students don't attend school at all, or they'll come to Endeavour with a 0% attendance, and so for these types of students to get up to 40, 50, 60% is a huge achievement in itself for students that in mainstream have potentially not attended school for 18 months or even longer. But in terms of the specifics, family liaison officers will go out and speak to the families, bring the children into school if needs be. We link in as children come here on it's a 30-day trial, but that may last longer than 6 weeks, and we'll work closely with the likes of Leslie and her team to support the students into Endeavour and the crossover from mainstream into a provision such as this. There's also like teams around the family, working with agencies, supporting that way, because we've got the background and it's important that we pass that background information on, so it's a smooth transition for the students coming from mainstream into Endeavour Academy. I mean, the first thing we do is arrange a visit. So we'll come up and we'll bring the student, we'll bring the parents, family, maybe 1 visit, maybe 2 visits. They've got to feel comfortable moving from Dene Academy or any secondary school into it's got to be accessible, which often it is. A lot of our students are local, and it's basically if things are not working in the setting that they're in, we need to look at a provision where things will work for these students. Now, the thing is, I work really closely with this provision for a number of years now, so I know which students are suitable, I know the backgrounds, I know what's going to work. It's not just a case of sending students up to Endeavour Academy because they're not attending our school. It's got to be right, and knowing the provision like I do and knowing the students like we do, after we've had the students and the families and all the support that goes in at mainstream, it's important that the referrals are right and that the students are right for the provision and the provision's right for the students.